Welcome to Section 31, episode number 235. I'm Dan Hammond.
And I am Rogue Schindler.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We had a couple of shows with Charlie filling in, so thanks to Charlie for that. And you arrived just in time to come out to our 1E Regional on Saturday.
Yeah, just in time to be present, if nothing else. I wouldn't say I actually played.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it was a game. It was a day. It was a tournament.
We had but 6 people come out. I think if one more had come out, I probably would have abstained from playing so I could do, card construction and various other tasks that I had brought along. But we had 6. So the hastily put together deck I put together based on an old one that I had lying around. I really wanted to play at least 2 other decks, but this is what I had put together, and that's what I played. I ended up playing a Romulan deck. I played Romulan TNG about it was October last year, and for some reason I never took the deck apart. It was still on my shelf over here. I guess because I didn't need any of the cards or whatnot. But I had remembered just enough playing it that the Romulan Underground stuff never really worked out by playing the second play engine from hand. Maybe it would be better if you tent for it or something just to get it out really early. But I always felt like I had too many card plays and not enough. Too many cards that cost a card play and not enough card plays. So I took a bunch of the random underground guys that were unique out. I left in I left in Picard and Spock because they're just really good and that'd be worth a card play. And I kind of streamlined a little bit. I added one other thing. I changed the battle bridge from being all Romulan, pulse cannon or whatever it was, the what was the Romulan disruptor thingy, to half of those and half target shields, and then I put in a few dilemmas that would give you damage markers, and then threw in 3 copies of Romulan ambush because I got a lot of the Deredexes to run around, and that was a lot of fun. I use those a lot. If your opponent's ship with shields less than 6 is present with your Deredex, that ship is blown up and you get to capture one of the guys, and your Deredex is not stopped. So if you start out with 9 shields and you get 2-point damage markers, you are a target. And since this target shield says shield enhancements offline, it doesn't matter how many bonuses you had, from Captain's Log or whatnot. It'd just be down to 5 or 4 or whatever it was. And it was pretty quick. Walk over and just pop it on somebody. I did that on Thomas. It wasn't quite enough. It was enough to delay him for another turn. I ended up losing to Thomas in the last round. But I think I had a pretty fun day overall. I lost to Charlie in the first round because I am an idiot. We had an interesting game. It was pretty back and forth. Time was running out, and it was like, I think he had 55 and I had 50. And since I had exactly 50 points, I had my in the zone out, and my ships were going 18 range, and my shields were ridiculous, so I could do all the battling I want. And I was really hoping to just, on my last turn, I had like 4 ships out, and I was going to fight him over here and over here and over here and over here. And then he wouldn't be able to do anything if he got a turn. And then on my turn, I got enough range to go all the way across the space line. I got Saylock out. I know what dilemmas are under Earth. I could just steal it for the win, right? I did all of those things, except I didn't have any Tal Shiar in play.
Oh, no.
So I took off across the space line. I beamed down. I passed all dilemmas. And Charlie said, all right, well, you win. I said, well, as I'm passing the dilemmas, it occurred to me that I don't actually have the mission skills. So I'm not stopped. I can go try something else. And I still have plenty of range. I got stopped somewhere else, and it was like, oh, man, really? I had all these resources, and I could have done a lot of things, and I chose the one thing that I had a 0% chance of success on. So Charlie ended up winning 55 to 100. I played against JD and did better against his androids. Did you play against JD?
Yes.
He was playing TNG. Well, no, not TNG. He was playing Delta Quadrant androids and Borg rescued Borg and freed Borg. Um, I stopped him on the surface, and then he finally, I think he solved it, piled everyone on the ship, attempted a space mission, and hit Cytherians. And he said, "Man, I'm dead." And well, you got a couple of options. You could pick up your ship, but then you've got a lot of cards in your hand. And he said, "Well, if I move down the space line, I'm either going to take 20 turns because he had it was either the Husnock ship with range of 6 or
Yeah.
the Renegade Borg ship with not very much more range." And I had my fleet of Daenerys over there. I said, "Well, I'm just going to pick up my ship and take my chances." So he picked up his ship. On the next turn, he dropped another ship, uh, and then he was going to do something mean to me. No, he was doing something. He was doing mean things to me all day, like
Yeah.
Barclay's transporter phobia and all kinds of other stuff. And I knew he had a ton of cards in his hand, so I scorched hand him down to down to whatever 6 or whatnot, so we'd have less chance of having interrupts to play on me. And I went over and solved my last mission, so that was good. Played against you. I felt like our game was a lot closer than the score indicated. I think you got 35 points before I got to 100. But I feel like I had a lot more people out and a lot more access. Maybe I started my missions earlier. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you probably got going sooner. I always feel like I'm doing a lot, but then I look down and I don't feel like I have enough cards to do anything. Um, you got it is a lot easier to get. I was playing Deep Space Nine here by invitation, Gamma Quadrant Solver, and it is a lot easier to get back and forth, which is nice. But you still have to discard those cards to fuel the download, and you
Yeah.
still have to kind of go back and forth, and you just kept I think you bounced somebody or you killed somebody. Somehow you shorted me what I needed, and I didn't have anything else. I had to go,
I
and
got
it
rid
was
of your
fine.
youth.
Oh, that's right. You bounced it to hand. You freaking get caretaker guest my youth. So I had to play it again, Jake and Nog, and go back and get them and come back, and that was kind of the story of my day. Like I just was a couple turns behind every time, and when you're already a couple turns behind, and then you get 3 loss of orbital stabilities in a row, or
Wow.
you know you have exactly 2 youth personnel, and of the crew, the huge crew that beams down, you get 2 transporter phobias and get exactly your 2 youth personnel.
Uh,
It was a long day
yeah.
for what was already like this deck was not worthy of playing in a normal tournament. I just kind of threw some stuff together and went to play because I really wanted to try out DS9, and I didn't have time to build anything else that was actually regional worthy anyway. For those of you who don't know, part of the reason I was gone was I was on vacation 2 weeks ago for a week in Hawaii, and then I got home, landed at midnight, and then had to get on a plane the next day morning to go travel for work for a week. Came home, landed Friday night, and then we had the regional on Saturday. So I kind of tried to work on my deck
Yeah.
beforehand. I worked a little bit on a line while I was gone. I tried to do my skill matrix while I was on the plane. It was a bad combination. I would have been fine coming and going to regular tournament, but it was a sad state of affairs to come and play at a regional, and everybody's got their A game decks coming in and gunning for the hardcore cards, and it was less than pleasant.
Yeah. So I ended up winning our game 100 to 35, and with my record and everyone else's record, I got to play Thomas, who is so far undefeated with a couple of modified wins for championship. Depending on who won, I think in our game and Johnny Charlie, I think any of the 4 of us could have won depending on the outcomes. But if I won or if Thomas won, with a full victory, it would have been ours. And man, Thomas was not playing with 5 dilemmas under each mission. He was only playing with 4, but they were all pretty rough. And I think he higher the fewered me, and then I hit his dead end. So I'm looking at trying to get a mission or two until I came back and took care of that one. On the plus side, I was playing with all these weird Romulan guys who had skills like geology and archaeology, to get past his weird dilemmas. And I managed to stop him in space, but he was playing his illegitimate leader deck, and he had a lot of skill gaining between Kamala and let's see, he was using fitting in on Kachik to gain extra skills on someone who already gained skills. He was using a couple of holograms and culinary relevancies. So all of my interesting skill walls were maybe a turn or two quicker to get past than anyone else because he didn't have to draw for it. And he had plenty of personnel out. I sent his big ship on a Cytherian trip, and he was slowly going across the field. I think I calculated out that he didn't have any doorways in place, so he couldn't pick it up. And I could catch up with him and blow him up, or I could catch his other ships and try a mission. So I went after his other ship. I think the ship that was going across the space line never made it, and he was able to solve with, his tertiary crew that he had behind. It was a good build. But he solved two of the. The other thing that Thomas has been doing recently is playing with 5 span missions and just making it really hard to get around, and playing with gaps in normal space and making it even harder to get around. I got some pretty good clumping on my mission, so I was able to get stuff done, but not enough. I think he ended up winning like some 29 to 100 or something like that. And so Thomas won the tournament. The one person I didn't play was Johnny, and it sounds like he was playing the deck that I would have probably put together if I had an extra day, which was Vidian Delta Quadrant.
Yes.
The old Johnny Standby from back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it was not the same because, that was, the Genetronic Replicator, medical nonsense,
Yeah.
Vidian Harvesters and all that. So it's all, but it, it was still enough. I would powered all its skills, powered through all my dilemmas, and, even while I was sitting there, the loss of orbital stability is not is a pretty big equalizer when he's trying to slow you down long enough to get another mission done for 140. So even though he had to get past, I mean, he literally was throttled by the speed of his own deck, because he's like, okay, I'm going to attempt this mission, but you know what, I'm going to make sure I don't have the I solve this, and then I'm going to make sure I don't have the requirements for that while I attempt this other one, because I'm going to blow through those dilemmas too, but I don't want to get it in the zone.
Sure, yeah.
And I'll solve that and get 105 points, and then we'll go over here, and it was ridiculous. And when I was already behind the curve on him, losing extra turns did not help. So yeah, it was a pretty pretty straightforward Vidian Delta solver, and it was pretty powerful. I kind of want to know what happened, what Thomas did to be able to slow him down long enough to stave him off. I was actually kind of disappointed. Not that that sounds different than what I meant. I wasn't disappointed that Thomas won the tournament, but I was disappointed in my performance because he was the one I had the best game against. I feel like by all rights I should have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
I just made one or two mistakes in bad places, but I played him first, and we sat down, and I looked at his missions, and it's Thomas, so he's got weird stuff. And I kind of started snickering. I already told you the story. and he's like, okay, and then I started cackling, and I'm like, I was a little jet lagged, and I was a little short on sleep, and it was kind of punchy anyway, and I just kind of kept giggling while we were setting up this baseline, because he was playing with Aldea, the Investigate Legend mission, which is the Wayback Machine. If you don't remember that, is a Q continuum mission that anytime any player scores points, the planet cloaks.
Right.
Can't get on, can't get off, can't do anything. So I was like, maybe he's just throwing it in there to be weird, but whatever. So I throw a Founder Secret combo under there so that he has to have plenty of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I set up my station, and I just wait for him to go there so I can download Dabo. And
Right,
it's like
because you can score points at will then.
yeah, and I'm like, he's got to know. I'm playing the station. I always play Dabo. Surely he's gonna see through it. He's just setting me up. And no, he built up in like third turn. He had like 9, 10 guys, and he
Mhm.
goes over and beams down and attempts to investigate legend. Hits the wall. Luckily, he only had like 60 strength, which I was afraid he might pass it right away, but he got stopped, and next turn I downloaded Dabo and cloaked the mission, and it was his whole crew and his one ship empty in orbit,
Wow.
and I was like, "This is awesome!" I get locked down with that was exactly what I needed against this fast TNG deck, so I
Yeah,
could kind
sure.
of build some stuff up and go attempt, and uh, I just he tore me up. He came over with a couple of guys and started daboing himself, which he was very, very proud of until he remembered that it was at the end of the mission or at the end of the turn that you probe. So he decloaked it, and then I would play dabo myself and recloak it.
So he was hoping that he would double and then you would miss and not score points, perhaps?
I guess, or just that he could dabo and then he could like beam his guys up
Oh, right, sure.
before I had a chance to do it, but it doesn't because of the probing happens at the end of the turn, no matter what you're probing for. So that took a round, and we did some fighting, and I focused too much on trying to fight him off because that's kind of where my instincts go. And if I had taken one guy and gone and because he had that brutal kill comp like Horta, volcanic eruption,
Yeah.
whatever, and then I hate you. Which is of course always the instinct when you hit that dilemma. And like okay, I can do this. I just need to go and get over there and do it. And I took too much time, and I was going to solve in the next turn and take the lead, and we just ran out. And he had daboed. I didn't want to run out of dabo resources, so early I was only wagering one card at a time, and I lost by that much.
Yeah, I'm reminded of something that happened in my game against Thomas. I was solving Romulus with an espionage card, a Romulan Klingon, and so I could solve it with the easy, honor nav uh, security. No, what's the mission? What's a Rhino's take? Honor nav and something else.
Uh, Diplomacy?
Maybe leadership. Yeah, diplomacy, honor nav, something like that. And I sent, since I had an actual facility there, I can hide inside. I knew, it wouldn't be so bad if I hit the Horta. I could just send a few people out and try it. Um, Eventually, I think the combo was something like Horta, mission fatigue, and then uh, something that stops you, and then something that stops you again. So you've got people down there, you can't get off. One of them's dying every turn. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And I got through most of the stuff. I think there was one dilemma left, and it was a random stop, and he got my one navigation guy. Out of 13 people I attempted with, my one navigation guy got. He must have got eaten by the Horde or something. That's what it was. I had everyone out. I wanted to put as many bodies down there as I had because all my navigation was going to go blow up his ship. It just happened to be on the other side of the quadrant because I drew them late. I had Adelar Jarok there, and he was going to solve my mission. So he was stopped on the surface. I walked everyone out to give a 1 in 13 chance of him being the one who dies. And who does he pick? And a 1 in 13 chance, Adelar Jarok. All right, that's fine because I'm playing with Borg nanoprobes to get back, assigned mission specialist. So as soon as he dies, I get him back again. I play him for free. I attempt again. Mission fatigue stops one person in 13. Do you know who it was?
Eldar Jarok.
Eldar. 2 1 in 13 chances in a row. That's how my game against Thomas went. Anyway, how did you go do against the rest of the field? I'm looking at the results, and it didn't go well.
It did not. It was, my game against Thomas was disappointing, and that was like the peak from which it went downhill. I'm trying to even remember. I played Johnny, and I just got I got stymied, not getting to do anything. I played against you, and I just had to keep going back and forth and doing too much. And uh, I played JD, and like I I had the pattern of having people hit my really hard dilemmas and just waltzing through them, where I would then hit easy dilemmas and get stopped. And
Ah,
he had a first dilemma, a plague ship combo. So not even a filter in front of it. It was just right away. And I'm like, okay, I've got medical. I've played like 4 or 5 medical people, but apparently none of them are here. Apparently they're all elsewhere. So my big pile of stuff just died. It was just, this was after the youth getting euthanized or Barclayized. I was like, oh, well, I can still use them on space missions, except they really don't have anything besides youth that's useful, and I need them on a planet to do that. And I realized like way too late that I was sitting there with a hidden fighter in my hand, and I could have downloaded a runabout and gotten the landing protocols and done it that way,
yeah.
which would have been really useful had I, sat and thought of it. But I was kind of in a downward spiral, game-wise, and just wasn't thinking very straight, and already kind of with a disappointing performance with a deck that I shouldn't have been playing at a regional anyway. So, I was just focusing on getting through it and not, table flipping over my own incompetence.
Yeah, JD had an interesting table setup. He had 2 Delta Quadrant missions, so he could get his, and those were just for a card draw to get an ancestral guy out.
Yeah,
He had 1 Gamma Quadrant mission, so that all of your Hippocratic Oath personnel would not be recoverable, at least for me. I mean, they would
fine with
next door
me.
for you, I'm sure. And then he was playing with all kinds of. He had 3 missions to do, and then I hit all of his science and medical drain, and he picked and plucked all of my science and medical and sent them across the quadrant. And after I'm complaining about this, and he said, "I learned it from watching you." that's what I was playing a couple weeks ago when I was playing, my version of this stuff. So he was blowing up equipment. As you said, he was playing Barclays transporter phobia. I was paranoid he was going to get my last medical, and then I'd hit Trillian Plague Ship, and he couldn't beam over, and everyone would just die. Anyway,
uh,
um, it was hard fought. I think I went 2-2, and by the end, it was Thomas who won the final match. So congratulations to TV for going undefeated on the day.
yeah.
And then we played triples.
Thank God.
You did substantially better at triples. Going into like the 3rd round, it was still pretty close, and then you just kind of started walking away with it. Was it the toxins that you were hitting every time?
Yeah, that was really the crux of it. This is the deck. I played the deck that I don't want to even call it my poison deck anymore, because it's long since stopped being a poison deck. Kind of evolved out of that. It's more like the toolkit deck. It's got all of the toxin and poison and utilize and score and tally and beige. Anything that gets points without going out, but it also will go out. And that actually made the difference. I went out twice for not insignificant amounts of points, and that, I mean, it was less than 100,000 difference in the final, or going into the last round when
Yeah.
Thomas went out and pulled ahead,
Yep.
and then it was just toxin, like 3 or 4 toxins in that last round, and at least 2 of them were 100,000s to put me ahead.
Yeah, you went over 1 million. So congratulations for the regional triples victory.
Woo!
Did you post your decks to the tournament yet?
I have not, because, as I said, they have been changed. So I need to update my deck list before I post it. I don't want to post an erroneous deck.
Fair enough. The card of the night just went up a little while ago. It's the 1E compatible, or sorry, the 1E conversion of the first edition compatible 2E card, Thomas Riker.
Hey, that parts of that image look very familiar recently.
Yeah. Looks
I
like
guess
he's got. Go ahead.
I was just I guess he's still technically Riker, so you can still use that phrase.
Riker's beard.
My Riker's beard.
I like the infiltrating Federation. So if you're playing with Homefront, is it Homefront? He's a free report on Earth.
Oh yeah.
Probably a little bit better than the other free report, which is what's her name? Vacus Valeris. Spock's
Oh
protege.
yeah, Valeris. Yeah.
Valeris, yeah. But yeah, Geo leadership, security, treachery, music, and special download commandeership. Pretty good.
Commandership, nice. The the picture-in-picture with the icon is a little unsettling.
Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, if you
Leadership,
really
nice.
want another TNG person, you can play Thomas Riker, and then persona swap him for Thomas Riker, or the other way around. If you really want somebody who can commandeer things in a TNG deck, you can persona swap into the DS9 Riker.
So can you?
I don't know why you'd want to do that.
What comes with the infiltration icon? Just is it unloaded, or
You
can
can
you?
report to your opponent's facilities.
So if you're playing Enterprise E and I draw him on my first turn, I could security download him with Defend Homeworld and commandeer your ship.
Yep, that sounds pretty good.
Is this something I should have mentioned during the playtest round?
Maybe so.
Because I
We'll
did
find
not
out.
think of that until just now. Maybe I shouldn't have said it out loud. Can we not broadcast this?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure somebody else will figure it out.
And he's a thief too. That's pretty cool.
Oh, thief. Even better.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's that. We also have an additional spoiler to give away. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. I was actually just looking at the spoilers that had gone up recently for the new Maquis engines, and this looks like it's kind of complementary to that. You want to? There it is. So this is You Could Be Invaluable. It is a conversion of the 2E backwards compatible card, but it is like many of these sort of engine cards, seems to be much different. There it goes. So it's an incident, hidden agenda, and it seeds or plays on table. At the start of a mission attempt involving only your Deep Space Nine Maquis personnel, you may reveal the top card of opponent's draw deck. If it is a personnel neither player has in play, opponent reports them to your attempting crew or away team under your control. They gain the Maquis icon. Return personnel to opponent's hand at the end of mission attempt, if they're still in play. So this is, I'm getting from the picture, meant to mirror Hudson trying to recruit Cisco over to the Maquis side.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Which is really cool. That's pretty powerful. Just hoping somebody, that they have a personnel on top. But if they do and it's not somebody they command, you can just drop them into the away team and they join in.
Yeah, they'll join up and
That's pretty good.
assuming they don't die, they'll return. The opponent will get a free card in their hand, a personnel.
Yeah, basically a free card draw.
Yeah, but you get to use them as your own for a turn. Maybe they'll have some skills you need. Maybe they'll jump in front of the landmine. You never know.
Yeah, maybe they'll get that little bit of attribute boost you needed.
Maybe they'd be the 14th person, so the 1 in 13 chance won't hit.
Maybe they'll be the 10th person and you get hit by a fractured time.
Dope. Yeah.
So there's, it's not a foolproof positive thing, but it's definitely an interesting, and it doesn't get rid of it. Doesn't go away when you use it.
No, yeah. So you
Wow.
could potentially use it over and over again, but the person goes back to hand at the end of the mission attempt, and so if you get a bunch of people, you're giving your opponent a bunch of people in their hand. Uh, so realistically, you're only going to use it a few times. If you know, I suppose if you know that there is a killer dilemma, you could use this and hope their personnel dies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This was one of the one compatible cards that we looked at when we first decided we were going to do a Maquis set, and it was the original card is if you've got a couple of Maquis in play, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's not a Maquis personnel, you could download it, or I think that's what it said. So that would be probably that would probably be too good, and I'm surprised no one broke that to begin with. So here you go. Interesting conversion.
Yeah.
I think it tells
I,
the story very well.
I was going to say, I really like the story aspect of it, the thematic uh, conversion of it. It's a very one-y card. Um, and then they'll go back. I like that a lot. We'll see how it plays out. It should be interesting. I'm sitting here thinking of, it's like, well, can I caretaker's guest you and put somebody on top of your deck on your turn, and then I know somebody's there at my turn, but I just have to hope you don't draw to end. Maybe.
Right. It is an incident, as mentioned. It's a hidden agenda, and it's card number 18V. So there we go. Yoink.
So a little bit of that 2E, not as bad, but weird card manipulation stuff going on with the Maquis. I like this brand much more than I like the 2E brand.
And it's got the restriction of being only DS9 Maquis personnel. So you can't have any non-Maquis, and you can't be playing any other form of Maquis. So it's not going to work with Voyager or TNG.
Yeah.
You
Well,
gotta
at
commit.
that mission, though, right? I think it
Sure.
was, yeah.
But if you
But
have
still, yeah.
okay, let's put it this way: you can't be playing generic Maquis, you can't be playing Voyager Maquis, because if you have any other icons, your DS9 icon is going to go away.
That's true. That's a good point.
You could have other non-Maquis personnel, as long as they're DS9,
DS9.
just on the away team.
Cool. Well, that is I think, a really good introduction to what I hope the Maquis is going to bring in terms of flavor to the middle of this DS9 block. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. Now, the article said we saw the DS9 engine, and then there is also a TNG engine,
Yes,
or I guess sub-engine.
similar to DS9. You get neat
Very
tricks
cool.
if you play TNG only, but you have to play TNG only.
Very cool. All right, we'll look forward to getting more cards of the day. I always like this point of the process, the very beginning. It's like the beginning of the end. You've got a couple of weeks before the set comes out, and you start getting the spoilers, and you start seeing the set take shape. I like that anticipation, both from getting the daily spoilers online point and us getting to disseminate that information. So hope everybody is excited for a new set, especially it's a 1E set. Get the Maquis, probably one of the longest Broken Link icons, I think.
Sure.
So yeah, new cards.
All right, I'm thinking more about the Thomas Riker security trick you talked about. I
Yeah.
think you can get him to the outpost, but I don't think you can walk aboard the ship, unless because I think the infiltrator rules say you can follow your opponent's personnel, but you can't go off and do things on your own. So if your opponent's moving from the outpost to the ship, you can join them, but then he won't be the only one on the ship anymore, so you can't commandeer it. I think that's how it's going to work.
Okay. So you'd have to just lurk there until he goes and hopefully beams everybody down for an attempt.
Right. So that would be a bad idea. They wouldn't know he's not the real Thomas Riker, but they probably shouldn't leave him alone on the ship. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless they and if they're playing Enterprise E, there's a very non-zero chance that William T shows up. So
Yeah, exactly. And he'll
uh,
be exposed, and that's a problem.
yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Okay, I
because
feel
he'll
much
he'll
better
be
about
exposed
this
to it.
now.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for not destroying the card the moment
Before
after
it
we
comes
reveal it. That's awesome.
out. I literally I have a stack of cards here that I was just thinking about making an Enterprise E deck. Uh, so maybe I won't do that now.
All right. Well,
All right, well,
I'll just Davidian door him to your ship instead, or just play Kavok, right?
yeah, I was gonna say that's what K-Bach is for, right? But then he's in a non-deck. Ah, man, I hated that. All right,
Yeah.
well, we're clearly running out of intelligence for this particular episode, and it's been long anyway with our regional report. So we're gonna sign off here. You are off to Origins next week.
Yes.
You do you have anything scheduled?
No, this will be the first time in Origins in a long time we're not going to have a Star Trek tournament. There just wasn't a lot of feedback, and I know at least I talked to Rossman for a bit. He can't make it at all, so there's not even going to be a little triples action. I'll probably end up bringing a triples deck just in case. Get a call from Altoid and someone else who wants to get four people together to play a little triples, but probably just going to be pretty low key and relaxed. I have one thing on my list of things that I want to do Star Trek related, and that is to finally get a demo of Attack Wing.
Ah, yes.
It's been going on around, and a lot of people are talking about it on the boards, and I figure, why not? I'll stand in line. I'll, see if they've got a freebie promo card or, a little, some beginner thing, something or other. Honestly, I still got my bag of micro machines around here somewhere, and those are some of my favorite little figurines because they're small enough, you can bring them along, and I think I used my Borg cube to represent where my Borg ship was in a 2E game for quite a while.
Oh yeah, I
Instead of
totally
having a
stole
big
that
stack.
too when I was
Yeah,
playing my reactor thruster control deck all the time. So I would put the station out on the space line so we know where it was.
that's right. That's right. So I'll go check that out, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Cool. I look forward to hearing it. I am totally jealous to be missing Origins this year, but I look forward to hearing how it goes, and I'll be storing up my gaming con karma for Gen Con.
Yeah, honestly, you've been the driver for signing up for all the RPG sessions that I've been doing for the last couple of years. So I didn't even sign up for that. I mean, this will be the first time we didn't play. We're not going to play Battlestar Galactica or Avatar or any of the weird things that we go do. So I'll just wander around the floor and see what new stuff I can find.
Well, that same group is in the same room every year. It sounds like. So if you get bored and you want to go by, you could probably drop in and see if they'll have a spot and you can use generics on it.
I did buy generics, yes.
Yeah. Do have a good. If anybody is going to Origins and wants a good random RPG experience, I highly recommend anything run by Matinee Adventures. They run good games, fun licenses, and good games in general. So, all right. Well, we'll look forward to hearing your Origins report when you come back, and then get some more Maquis spoilers, and then prepare for. I think we have a 2E tournament coming up in 2 weeks, which Charlie is running because you will be out.
I will once again be out, but I'll be back the next Monday again. I'll be back on Mondays, so tell me all about it. Are you going to be going to the 2E event?
We're getting close to Comic-Con, and it being 2E, we will have to see how much of my attention is needed to be diverted to the costuming aspect of our hobby town that we call the house. So I might have to push all these cards aside and sweep in the fabric and the crafting to
Sure.
get in time for that. But we'll see. I've got a deck sitting here. And if nothing else, I'll just grab that if we need an even number. But we'll make sure we get a report in any case.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe we'll have Thomas back. We talked to him last week about second edition. Maybe we could have Johnny on. We haven't talked to him in a while.
Nice.
All right, very good.
Good call. All right, well, that's all the intelligence we have for this week. We'll give a shout out to Warp 11 for their awesome theme song, and everybody who came out to the San Diego Regional for 2014 this past weekend. And thanks for putting up with us talking about your decks all day. I am Sir Rogue.
And I am Sir Dan.
And I will remind you all to expand your power in the universe.
And I will draw to end.